The flood of new music never ends. That's one of the great things about it. We've got 4 new releases to talk about here on 207 Today. With us from Bull Moose are Lauren Patnod and Chris Brown. Thank you both for coming in. Good to have you here. Let's start with a musician whom people have heard of. His name is Ringo Starr. He was in a British band called, the Beatles. And he is now in, Chris, astoundingly, his 7th decade of music. He's got a new album out. It's called Crooked Boy, or a new EP out called Crooked Boy. What's the story here?
Well, the way he's been handling his career lately is to release a 4 or 5 song EP every 6 months or so, which I think works for where he is creatively, but also just kind of music business-wise. It's really smart. And this one was produced by Linda Perry, who's done a ton of pop hits, and she was in Four Non Blondes, but also worked with like Dolly Parton. She's a very, very talented songwriter and producer, so she's a great person to work with. Ringo, she brought in Nick Valenci from The Strokes to play guitar, which leads to a really cool song.
Gonna need someone, gonna need someone, gonna need someone to love.
The single has a really cool vibe to it.
I know that you're a fan of it, and it's so cool that Ringo, who with the All-Star Band has always brought in a parade of musicians, continues to do that. Now he's still bringing in new people and creating new music. I think it's just terrific. Good for Ringo. We all love Ringo, and he's touring, and he's got new music. Lauren, a new album called News of the Universe from La Luz. Tell us about this one.
Psychedelic dream lullaby. Basically, Shanna Cleveland, who can always organize us into a different vibe and bring us on a trip.
So we like the music? You approve?
Yeah, I approve. And I think that she really has a way of bringing a bunch of women together and jamming out.
Chris, Richard Thompson is a really major figure in folk rock. He comes out of Great Britain. He's been around for a long time, knows the history of popular music like virtually nobody else. He's got a new album called Ship to Shore, and it's been a while since he's had a release, right?
Yeah, I think it's been 6 years. So Ship to Shore, he's an amazing guitar player, and his acoustic or electric, and this is more of an electric album. So when he's doing his electric, more rocky thing, some of the traditional British influences are maybe a little bit lower, and he kind of brings up more like American roots rock. And also the doom and gloom element in his lyrics.
Yeah, he's not always Mr. Cheerful.
No. But, because these have a cheerier vibe, you might not notice that he's singing about some pretty dark stuff.
All right, let's end with John Mulaney, who's about the hottest comedian around right now, and he's got all kinds of streaming performances, but he's got a new release called Baby J, and you particularly like the fact that this is something that is now out on vinyl. Yes. And this is really going retro, listening to a comedian's album on vinyl.
As you process and digest how obnoxious, wasteful, and unlikable that story is, just remember, that's one I'm willing to tell you.
I think it's incredibly important for new comedians and children to listen to this. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, it moves through the journey that he's been through in the last couple of years, that is written so intensely and so well that everyone should listen to it.
His writing is sharp, and it's not just out on vinyl, it's also out on CD, so take your pick, but I know you prefer the vinyl.
Sure do.
All right, that's the last word. Thank you both for coming in here. 4 new releases. You can see the full list in the 207 section of our app or website, and stick around because we're going to be back in just a moment.